Here we go. This is what we deal with every day. Welcome to America.
You've been telling me you're a genius since you were 17. And all the time I've known you, I still don't know what you mean. The weekend at the college didn't turn out like you planned. The things that pass for knowledge I can't understand. Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears, and have you had enough of mine? The Baby Snatchers, a new crop. Well, we showed you 3 stories where I followed that children and youth tried to take children for illegitimate reasons. You might think, how many did I look at to find those 3? Well, I looked at 3. The other ones I looked at were just as bad. Pretty bad odds, I would say, if they show up at your door. Truth is gone. Justice is dark. What kind of mentality do these social workers have? That they come in, eliminate due process, ignore the constitutional rights, discount the parents as if they're only allowed to be parents if the government says so. That the first power over the child is the government. And they're licensing you. They're giving you a right to raise your children unless you don't raise them the way they want. Boom. Shakalaka boom, baby. So, you might wonder, what kind of people, what kind of classes do these people take and who teaches them? Well, let's answer this. Lo and behold, I've got an answer for you. Because just 2 nights ago, I got a number of emails from just one of those, what we'll call the new crop. Baby snatchers. Dear family who had their baby stolen, I am a current student to Professor McVeigh now, which AKA, apparently she doesn't know what AKA means, is why she retired. And I personally agree with everything she did. Anyway, who carries a video camera around harassing people does not take seriously issue at hand, or even display any maturity and responsibility as to why they should get their child back. Yeah. You obviously did something wrong, and now you put out the second. She sent me mine that night. You obviously did something wrong, and now you put out a dumb video and just proved the point as to why you got your child taken away.
I'm ashamed to say that I always thought if someone took your child, you did something terribly, terribly wrong. I'm ashamed of myself for feeling like that. And I know now that isn't true. And I know now that isn't true.
You could have been doing more practical and going about this better ways. Instead, you make a YouTube video about it. And then you wonder why your child is taken away. Dare you show our badness. This is now, she is now a professor who teaches our youth and makes sure we don't turn out like people like you have to get their children taken away. And then make a YouTube video instead of actually fighting for their child. If it wasn't so sick, it would be funny. Way to go, good for you. And anyone who thinks that CPS is truly that bad really should get their children taken away. It's all in caps. She's screaming it, and I'm going to read it to you again so you understand what this student who's going to be a counselor with children and youth thinks. Anyone who thinks that CPS is truly that bad really should get their children taken away. I don't need to go on, but I will, because it's just wonderful, incredible. She is the picture postcard. You post your child for social workers who will be out soon in your life if you're not careful. I have no respect for people who bash social workers. They do way a lot of wise. More good than they ever do bad, and they will do more good than you will ever do in your life. I like that. People who think that having a CPS is a bad thing should not have children. People who think that having CPS is a bad thing should not, N-O-T-T-T-T-T, have children. You need to learn a lot before you go around attacking people and throwing around your judgment. Is she talking to herself? I have 3 years of college under my belt, and I'm a social work major. And I know way more than you will ever know about the system. How could I think differently? I'm 49 years old. Anybody who knows the experiences I've been through knows that this 3-year student knows more than I will ever know. So get a reality check and focus on your children instead of making a F-U-C-K-I-N-G YouTube video and bitching about things you don't know and that actually help people. By the way, P.S., our whole student body saw this, and we all in agreement, even students from different majors. So that makes you one dumb, with a lot of B's and M's, guy. The whole student body has apparently never taken a class in constitutional law or the rights of citizens. They seem to feel that they're smarter than the rest of us people. My God, they've gone to college. If they come out and steal our children, it's only befitting. What do we know about children and raising them? On behalf of all the young people going to college to be a social worker and try and make our world a better place, McVeigh is a wonderful professor, and even when I asked her about this video, she was mature and did not say any negative things about you or the family. She lost the lawsuit. The first in the state of Pennsylvania proved that it was wrong. Why doesn't she teach her class the lessons they could learn from that?
CYS will pay Patricia Shope, Brianna's mother, $125,000 for what they went through.
Here's one. Just because I do not have children, any children, does not mean I do not know how to take care of people. I do know how to take care of myself and people. That's why I am in college and a top student. She's a top student. Scary, huh? As a child who had to go through CPS since my dad beat my mother so bad he broke her ribs. Well, I'll call Millersville University and I'll offer them the opportunity to allow me to come and speak to this class. And I will ask them if they would please include a little touch of due process and constitution in the education of these social workers coming out armed with your tax dollars to attack you and me. Tomorrow night, Bill Ayers, the ex-Vietnam demonstrator, blew up the stuff, is speaking at Millersville because it's freedom of speech and they fought everybody for that, and hey, I'm good for that. But what about me? What about the citizens? How about we get an opportunity to sit down with some of these future social workers, child snatchers, the next crop, and let them know that they are an imposition. And before they enter into our homes with government power, they better have some kind of an understanding that we have rights, that we are American citizens, and they are not to be stomping on our children. And they're not to be coming in and snatching babies based on their attitude towards us, and that attitude which you saw there. Joe McVeigh, shame on you. Teach these children what you learned in that lesson. It was the first in the history of Pennsylvania that a lawsuit was handed out, money to a victim, children and youth. It was carried up through the committee and purportedly made changes in the entire system. But you'll ignore it. And you'll teach these children there's nothing wrong with the system and they should go out and they should just beat people to death with the system as part of the system. Shame on you. Invite us in. I'll be happy to have a spirited discussion with your know-it-alls and 3-year top students, of which I'm not impressed. What's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich? Is he rich like me? Has he taken any time to show you what You need to live. Daddy Justice, skipping school.